surprising.
Did not see this coming.
Neither did I. And I know Manchester City have struggled against Tottenham of recent years. I think since Pep's been in the league,
Yeah.
Tottenham's taken the most points off them. But I just thought, right, City on a bit of a bad run. Tottenham just came off a bad result against Ipswich. And we know Tottenham can be a bit Jekyll and Hyde.
Yep.
I thought City will just get the job. I didn't think it would be like a convincing win or anything, but I just thought they would just get the job done and kind of get the train back on the tracks and, normal service.
Yeah, exactly. Post-international break, few people back from injury,
Pep just signed the contract.
Yeah. Bit of a bounce
Yeah.
mentally, etc. But James Maddison had other ideas.
Yeah, and the thing is, the first, 15 minutes, Tottenham did not have a sniff.
Bruv. It was BAU, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was business as usual.
When's this goal come in? Haaland had a chance that he snatched just wide. And I think he might have had another one not long after that. And I even said it in one of my groups. I was like, do Tottenham want to turn up? And then literally a couple of minutes later, Kulusevski, who we said has been their player of the season, don't know what he drank over the summer or done. I think, whatever him and Andrew worked on, it's working really well. Because obviously he's been rotated a bit, where he kind of played the 10, he played wide left, wide right, played in the middle three as an 8. And he just seems to be excelling in all of them. And his grit and determination, and most importantly, the pass for Maddison's first goal, quality.
Yeah.
But you got to praise Maddison. He's been getting a lot of stick from us and other kind of corners of football about his output recently. Well, not even recently. It's been a few months now, going back into last season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good run, got in the right place, and they take a surprise against the runner play 1-0 lead.
It was a good finish as well. So as much as everyone's talked about Kulusevski and the cross and the determination to get the ball in initially, it wasn't an easy finish.
Nope.
It wasn't an easy finish. And to your point, when you've been in and out of the team, maybe, I don't know if he's low on confidence, but it's an easy assumption to make. Those are the kind of chances that teams, when they're playing against the Cities and Liverpools, etc., they don't take and they end up regretting it.
Yeah,
and I think yesterday was a great example of when you're playing against a team like that, when the chances arrive, you just take them, and it just changes the tide of the game.
Massively.
You know what I mean? It sets a tone. There's work for City to do. Even though in the past they've shown to make light work of that, it's still work for them to do. And it came from, I won't say an unlikely hero, but it was interesting that before, in the pre-match, the quality questions that the interviewers ask managers before the game. And he was just basically saying, he brought Maddison in and put Johnson on the bench because, he needs to increase the probability of them keeping the ball.
Right.
And doing a bit better with the ball, retaining it a bit better, making better use of it. But he was very clear, when Johnson comes on, we expect he's going to have a different effect in the game, etc., etc. So he was very intent on, and I think if someone has not been playing for some time, to kind of bring him in one of your biggest games of the season so far, it kind of shows it's less about form had something to do with it, but he will still pick the right players for the right game. Whereas it's easier to kind of still go with the team that you've been picking, players that have been maybe doing well against other teams. Actually, this is why I specifically need for this game. So that's vindicated in, it was 13 minutes, I think, that goal.
Yeah.
And then within 10 minutes, Maddison does it again.
Yeah. And even before then, Son had a really good chance where he picked it up against the left and he's curled it in. It's going top corner. Edison done a good save.
Oh, yes.
So, okay, Tottenham started to get in there now. And like you say,
the goal gave them life, man.
Yeah. The kind of play for the second goal, Maddison, Son, back to Maddison. It's and a dink. It's hard to do those kind of finishes when you're that close to the keeper. A lot of people just drill it low. They hits the keeper, comes out, saves it. To have the composure to dink it from that close.
On your weaker foot.
Weaker foot as well. Yeah.
And even just that play in the box, the ball back to him from Son, etc. Again, the team was feeling confident. They'd got into the game. But yeah, that first touch, and then obviously like the outside of his right foot, and then the dink. Yeah. That's a guy that was confidence is flowing now. He's feeling it. The first goal's giving him a bit of oomph. So everyone's shell shocked at this point, right? Like all the viewers, commentators, fans, Pep, like everybody. And then Spurs still continue to push, and you can see a little bit of, I don't want to say jittery in City's game, but they were still good with the ball, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was without the ball that they were having issues. Haaland had another chance. I think he came across the box. And he's hit it wide or over. Wasn't the easiest chance, but again, for him, expecting to hit the target. And I saw that and I just thought, yeah, this might actually be, if it was anyone else, I'd be like, this is not going to be your day. But with City, you never know. Second half starts.
And you think the next goal is vital, innit? Vital.
Exactly.
City get it. Gets jittery, as you said. But the jitters go to the other team. And then, the thing with the third goal was how open City were.
Yeah.
And like we've had discussions in the group chat about has Pep failed to rebuild properly or in the right areas? And like it was unanimously agreed that the defense is the weakest point of this rebuild.
Which is a bit mad because if you think about maybe not cost-wise, but just number of players, that's probably where they've invested the most. Hence why the club I support's managers probably following the same template. But that's an area where Man City, him, the director of football, they've replenished on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Think about it. And to the point where we're always like, did you need another defender? Did you need him as well? So it's weird to be saying that now. Vardio's not that old.
He's like 22. Lewis is, I think, just turned 18.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think Akanji's older than 25, 26.
No, Akanji's 30 soon.
Oh, really? Whoa.
I want to say, hold on, let me check. I want to say. I saw his name on the list.
Naively, I just thought that was.
I saw his name on the list and then I was surprised. He is, born 95.
Oh, wow. Oh,
he's 30 next year.
Okay, so you got Akanji, Stones, Walker, who are on the older side. Diaz is injured, isn't he?
He's injured, yeah. He's injured.
So yeah, it just
but
seems,
he's 26 or something.
Yeah, so it just seems a little disjointed in that defensive area.
I think it's more a function of injuries, bro, if I'm honest. I think he could put out a decent aged defense. Even if you take Rico Lewis out, Diaz, Vardio, Stones. Well, Stones is 30 now.
Yeah, Stones is 30. Yeah,
Akanji's 29. I just think it's the number of injuries. Walker was injured, come back from injury. Ake has been injured.
I forgot about Ake. Yeah.
He's soon 30 if he's not 30 already. So I think it's more a function of who's been injured, how many people have been injured at the same time.
Right.
I would argue. Rather than it being everyone's fit and their performance is subpar. Don't get me wrong, the age profile of the team does need to be addressed. But it was only 6 months ago these lot were slapping out the league.
Winning the league.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. But I think with City, even though they've dominated over the last 4 years, like 4 in a row now. And how many have you got in total? 6?
6.
I think only one of those they've kind of blown everyone away. And that was when...
Not this again.
No, but you got to kind of take it into consideration, innit? Like,
what
we know the levels that City are, innit?
You know what I'm going to say.
But you've got to look at, for as good as they've been, they haven't been clear. That's all I'm saying, innit? So
that's fine. But define clear.
So against Liverpool, they won it 1 point twice, right? Arsenal last year, 1 point.
2 points, no?
Sorry, 2 points.
Yeah.
The year before that was 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, 4 points is a decent gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like for as good as City has been,
Yeah.
there hasn't been that gap for other teams not to claw. So for City to kind of have a drop off now, a potential drop off now, I don't think it should be too surprising. Like if they were just beating everyone in the league by 5 to 10 points every league title, I can say, oh, all right, and what's going on? But I don't think we can be too surprised if they have a drop off this season. Like there's a long way to go.
And also, every season there's they're wobbling a bit, or they lose 1-0 or 2-0 to somebody that we don't expect. And then a run comes. Now, the argument will be, well, this squad isn't showing any signs, or the person are not showing any signs that they could put that run together.
Yeah.
But if we look at the top 3 teams, if you just look at who they've got, their squad are the most experienced at doing those runs and putting that together, right? Arsenal team, okay, last season they did it. Put a really strong run. I think it was in the last 12 or 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it once, right? And we were relatively injury-free. We discussed that. Liverpool, you've got a span of players who've done it before, but a lot of your team are new, right? So, McAllister, Slobozai, Gravenberch, the list goes on. So I love to write them off.
Oh yeah, I'm not writing them off.
But some people are already saying this is signs that the dynasty is kind of weakening, and Arsenal and Gary Neville, of course, yesterday he said he's looking at Arsenal and saying you've got no excuse, right? And I'm just like, he's 2 minutes into talking about that game, and somehow Arsenal have cropped up in the conversation. Not the team, not Liverpool, who are leading the league by how many? Well, even before you won yesterday, you leading the league by 5 or 6 points, right? But it's just a bit early for me. It's just a bit early. There's 20.
I agree, but I'm just
how many games to go? 25.
Yes, there's a lot of games. But yeah, even the third goal, Solanke was in loads of space, and then I think it's Porro and someone else running in. It's like there's no one chasing them. Like this is like it's not what we're used to seeing with. And I got a gripe with Porro not celebrating. Like for what I didn't even know he was at Manchester City until yesterday, and he didn't play for them. I was like, come on, man.
He needs to get a grip.
He should have taken that shirt off.
I saw a tweet today. Someone said, Porro not celebrating because of 2 or 3 training sessions at City is crazy.
It's true though. Like,
is it like you show respect? What respect? You know what I mean? Respect, bruv. I would have been sliding on the grass.
He should have done the wickedest knee slide.
He's begging it with Pep, bruv. He's begging it with Pep.
Wickedest.
It was a great finish.
Yeah.
At the Etihad, bruv, you should be celebrating that wildly.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely wildly.
Of course.
I'm going to come back to your point about they were running through, because intensity is something that the stats show is not at the usual level for them. But then if we go to the 4th goal,
meet.
You know what annoys me about that goal, right? I think in a standard foot race, if Kyle Walker had just decided to just sprint off from the off, Werner's not faster than him. Werner doesn't pass him. But he kind of mugged him off.
Yeah.
He kind of said, go on then.
Yeah, because he kind of tried to face him up a bit before. And then he was like, oh, okay.
He was like, go on then. I'll catch you. You're Werner's. But then he gets that march on him. As I understand it, he's recovering. He's just coming back from injury, or not too long been injured.
And apparently, you have to manage his minutes in training as well. Like he doesn't train as regular as everyone else.
So maybe he has lost a yard or 2, but he's not lost his speed in the space of months or weeks. But I just think Werner's fast enough that once you've mugged him off, and he had the ball as well. It wasn't great. But it just epitomized a little bit of what people have been saying. The intensity is not there. Physicality is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Rico Lewis looks like a weak link. Age has been calling that out. But I just think overall, they are just going through poor form. And the usual Haaland scoring a goal or Haaland doing X or whoever doing Y just isn't coming off for them at the moment. And I think when people look at some of the intensity, some of the stats around how much mileage they're covering, how much kilometers they're running, etc. They're not up to par as per usual. And it's almost like, but why? Why are you not running as hard or as long as you would normally do?
I know some people say complacency in it, but you think Pep wouldn't let his kind of core players get complacent. And if you look at the senior players who are there, so like your Carl Walkers, your Kevin De Bruyne's, Gundogan's back there, they're not the kind of personnel who would be like just relaxed and kind of start to down tools. You know what I mean? So
no, I agree. And even you look at, I think it was the first or second goal, Madison's run off Gundogan for that goal. And overall, Spurs are a little bit of a bogey team for them. And I'm not sure that you go into a game like that against a bogey team with sort of wrong mentality or complacency. It's Spurs, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
And I know that bogey thing is normally at Spurs, but still, I don't know. I don't know. I think you're at home. All the reasons we said at the beginning. You've lost 4 on the bounce, etc., etc. I don't see where complacency would come from. I really don't. So it's a weird one, and I don't even know how to categorize it because we've not seen this from them before.
Yeah, like
5 games in a bounce in all comps is a bit.
Yeah, and I think next week against Liverpool will be like a massive game, not just in general in terms of the league now, but just for where Pep kind of lands with how he sets up his team. What happens if they lose against that game, or not even lose? Or like, I think that's a game Man City have to win.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's come at a good time. People will see it as great, you can redeem yourself. I think they needed a couple of quote unquote easier games.
Yeah.
And then back Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, they've got I think they got Leverkusen on Tuesday in the Champions League, and then Liverpool. So yeah,
an easy game.
Yeah, Xabi Alonso and team, they're not having the best season, but it's not an easy game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, long may it continue, but it's a strange one. And anyway, we've talked a lot about City and what they haven't done. But what about Spurs? Is this, I don't want to say a turnaround, but as much as we talked about City were actually good in possession, they did create chances. But a lot of credit has to be given to Spurs. We have to say that the team he picked, the way he set them up, was effective and worked. But I think yesterday was more about the players executing.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think it's going to be the kick-on that everyone thinks it's going to be. I think they're just too Jekyll and Hyde. Like, we've used Jekyll and Hyde with a lot of teams on this pod this season.
Yeah, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, Newcastle. And Tottenham are just one of those teams. Like, I think their last few results are win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. Win yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be indicative of them this season. Like, we've spoken about their squad. It's not the best. But they shown yesterday when they turn up, they can turn up. But then you rewind 2 weeks, you lose at home to Ipswich. And Ipswich are not a bad team.
Yeah.
But it's not a team that you expect to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and win. So Tottenham have got, like, I think Tottenham have got a fairly decent squad. Like, we had this debate last time. But yeah, I think they'll just be up and down and they'll be challenging for that Europa League, Europa Conference spot.
But I think for me, one nice touch by Ange was putting Maddison back in the 10.
Yeah.
I think that made such a difference. I think just his intelligence to run spaces that he occupied, and actually Kulusevski, he's a threat down the right, should I say, cutting in, running in, and I think he's just got a lot more confidence from playing the 10. Now he's coming inside and kind of being the second 10 as well as going on the outside. So So no, it was impressive by Spurs, but they're just unpredictable, as you said, Keith.
Yeah, and everyone did their job when they needed to do it. Everything came together, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw the lineup and I saw Ben Davies, I saw Dragosin.
Yeah, I think it was Davis that won the ball for the third goal,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like he was crosses coming in the box. He was getting to headers, etc. I messaged Kieran, who's been on the podcast previously, and I said I just wrote the word pain because I just thought Haaland, Ben Davies, Dragosin, not great.
Yeah.
Ben Davis' first Premier League start, Dragoson's 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
I just thought, but yeah, that's football. That is football.
Indeed.
And from a table point of view, trying to get up the latest table, that sort of leaves us. Well, think about other games, but Man City is second on 23 points, and it's kind of allowed Chelsea and Arsenal to creep up. We'll talk about their game shortly, but that was a painful loss. That was a painful loss. Spurs, they jumped to 6th. They're 3 points behind Brighton in fifth. Well, to be honest, Brighton, Chelsea, and Arsenal all on the same points. So as much as some of their results have been awful and they've lost at home to Ipswich, blah blah blah.
Still in the picture.
Yeah. And I saw a stat where the Premier League table is now the most congested it's been in a long time, if not ever.
Yeah.
At this stage of the season. So there's minimal margin for error.
Yeah.
Absolutely minimal margin for error. So yeah, City does, Chelsea, Arsenal, the chasing pack a favour.